What is going on, Pokemon fans? Welcome back to JD's Nerdiverse. Today, we are doing a prediction video for a playthrough that will come out on Friday of Pokemon Crystal using this Pokemon, Sudowoodo. Sudowoodo is known as the imitation Pokemon, which is very fitting. This Pokemon is a rock type, but if you look at it, at least in my opinion, it looks like a tree or a tree stump or a log or something like that. Even has little, I guess those are leaf balls, I don't know. But I don't know. It's an interesting Pokemon nonetheless. Kind of looks like a hot dog, to be honest. But yeah, that's the Pokemon we're playing through as, and it's imitating. It's a rock Pokemon imitating a tree. And the other thing about this Pokemon, we don't have to worry about evolution. In future generations, this Pokemon does get a pre-evolved form, and I don't mean maybe in later generations gets another stage of evolution. But I know it has a pre-evolved form, but that's not going to be what we deal with in this generation. Just a single stage Pokemon. So, without further ado. And before we dive into the stats, got some things I want to go over. This channel is getting some momentum, and we're very close to hitting my next target, which is 500. So the first thing I want to ask is make sure you like this video, or like any videos you watch of mine. The YouTube algorithm is a fickle you-know-what. It's very specific, it's very odd, but it needs engagement, and liking is one of those engagements. The second thing I want to ask is comment. I really need your feedback, not just for the algorithm, but for my own knowing. Is I need feedback on what I could do better, on what you liked, what you didn't like. Do you like the prediction videos? Should I just not waste my time with prediction videos? Should I just do the playthroughs? Do you want more videos in general? Do you want more rankings of typings in first gen? Things like that. All those things I want to hear back and hear about. You commenting is the only way I'm going to hear about it. I can ask my friends, but my friends are always going to give me a decent opinion because they like my stuff anyway. But I don't have 500 friends I can subscribe to this. So the next thing is, obviously, I want to ask you to subscribe. And subscribing helps because it just gets it out there, and you'll be pinged to see my content whenever I post. So that's the big thing, and we'll make sure you hit the notification bell as well. And the last thing is, if you can, share the video. I share as much as I can on my Twitter account, and I share on Facebook. And I even share it in this group of other PokeTubers that I'm with. Ultimately, you as the fans of my channel are the ones that are going to get this out to everyone else. I just post the content. It's all about your engagement. That's the YouTube mantra. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get rid of these crotch-shaking Sudowoodos. And we're going to move this guy right over here, and we're going to go right into our stats. HP of this Pokemon is 70. Attack is 100. Defense is 115. Special attack is 30, special defense is 65, and speed is 30 for a grand total of 410. HP being 70 is not the worst. It's kind of middle of the pack, so it's not the worst HP stat. We could do a lot better. Azumarill was over 100, so that was better, but in other ways, Azumarill wasn't as good. So we'll kind of take middle of the road, because it will distribute the stats to something else. Attack is 100, so this is great because we are rock type, so every stab move we get will be physical. So that's great. So a lot of good stuff going there, and we get a lot of non-stab moves that are great too. Return, Earthquake, so on and so forth. Defense is 115. This is good for a lot of things that we're going to come up against, but there's also a lot of things it's not good for, and you'll see that here in a little bit. Special attack is 30, and this is horrible. It sucks because this Pokemon has such a good diversity of moves, but it's completely negated and completely irrelevant because of the fact that our special attack is so garbage. So, almost brings up the question of, do I even want to try to use my special moves, or just go straight in for all physical? Special defense is great, but a lot of things we're weak to will use special, so I don't know how useful 65 is with special defense. It's not great, let me rephrase that, but it's not bad. And speed being 30 is abysmal. So, speed being 30 does bring a couple things up that we have to deal with. One, we have to use carbs to increase our speed. We will overlevel a little bit, so that will help us on the speed department. But there are just going to be some things that are just going to outspeed us no matter what we do. So this is going to hinder us because there's a thing called the Quick Claw, which gives you the ability to go first, even if you are outsped. So with that being said, if we have to use a Quick Claw, we can't use other things, like the Soft Sand or Hard Sand that boosts our Ground and Rock type, or the Pink Bow, which will increase our normal moves. Never Melt Ice, Charcoal for fire moves, etc. So this really does hinder us, and we have to really be very careful. Now, on the first playthrough, we're just going to play through as it is, and we're not going to optimize it and try to figure this out exactly, but that's just something I'm concerned about, okay? But that is the stats of this Pokemon. Let's go and go over to the level up moveset. The level up moveset not bad. It's pretty broad. It's got some coverage there. It really does. So, and it all goes with its physical attack stat, so that's also good as well. We start off with Rock Throw. Rock Throw is a 50 base power rock move. It's a stab move, so it's 75 with stab and 90% accurate. Pretty solid. This used to be a very bad move. In Generation 1, this was 65% accurate. Now it's been boosted to 90, which I think is appropriate. It just sucks it's not 100%. There's nothing really 100% that's rock type. I've kind of learned that researching this Pokemon. Mimic is the next move you get. It basically lets you copy the last move the opposing Pokemon did. And Flail is 100% accurate as well. This is a weird move because the more damage you take, the more powerful it gets. So if you're down, I think it's down below like 10% health, that this thing is so boosted. It's like 200. It's 200 base power, I think, if it's boosted. And I mean that's not a bad move, especially if you pair that with the Pink Bow. It can be very powerful. There's certain circumstances that will come in handy, but it will have a short shelf life, just like Mimic. Low Kick is pretty useful. It's a physical move. It's definitely going to help us with some type coverage. Also probably help us pretty well with Whitney's Gym. So 50 base power, 90% accurate. The next move is probably our bread and butter, which is Rock Slide. 28 base power, 75% accurate, and 75 power and 90% accurate. Very good move. Again, not 100% accurate, but with stab, this is like 113 base power. I think that's what this is. It's a very good move to have. Feint Attack is good because it's 60 base power. Dark moves are physical. Okay, they are physical moves. Dark is great. It'll help us against one specific gym. And in 46, we get Slam, which is not useful at all because it's so garbage accuracy. And there's so many better things we can use other than 80 base power. I mean, by this point in the game, easily Return will be way past that. You get access to Headbutt, things like that. So this is not the greatest move to have. So I don't know why. The only really consistent moves we're going to have level up wise, I guess Feint Attack's our most consistent one. But that's our level up moveset, I'm sorry, and we're going to move on to our TM moveset. Very broad, just listen to my voice and follow along. So we're going to start off with Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch, really not useful early in the game, but 100 base power, 50% accurate. It's really good for the last couple of battles in the game. It does have that Boomer Bust kind of feel to it. Headbutt, 70 base power, 100% accurate. This is a very good move. We'll use it. We don't get to utilize a lot of its flinching ability because we're so slow. However, it is still a very reliable move. We're not going to use Curse. It's been outlawed in my videos. And honestly, Curse might be something I consider with this Pokemon in the optimized playthrough. Because I have a feeling about the playthrough, and I have a feeling that there's going to be some really big problems. And the whole point of an optimized playthrough is you identify these problems, and then you find a way to fix them. And there's not a lot of ways to fix them. I'll go over that near the end, whenever we kind of just briefly talk about it, because I want to get your feedback. Rollout is another move we get. 30 base power, 45 with stab, and 90% accurate. It builds over time, so it's a very good move to have. Toxic, not going to use. Rock Smash, not going to use. Psych Up, not going to use. Hidden Power. So I was thinking about Hidden Power Dark, but with Feint Attack, I mean, it's only a 10 power difference between that and Feint Attack. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be at around that level to use Feint Attack against Morty. So I'm not sure. So I'm not 100% sure what to use Hidden Power on. I'm not a Hidden Power Rock. I mean, it wouldn't be bad to have a Hidden Power Rock move because it'd be more reliable and more accurate. But I already have like 3 other Rock moves, and I just don't think it'd be smart to do that. So I'm not quite sure about my Hidden Power on this. I do have access to Ice Punch, so Hidden Power Ice is usually a go-to. Maybe Hidden Power Flying wouldn't be a bad one, but I just don't see how that's a big one I have to worry about. So Hidden Power is a mystery right now, and here soon, like in the next day or so, I'm going to start filming it, and I'll have to make a decision by then, but there's not a concrete answer for that. If you have an idea, let me know. Sunny Day, not going to use. Snore, Protect, Endure, Frustration, not going to use. Earthquake is definitely a contender. It's 100 base power, it's very powerful. A handful of things are weak to ground, so it's a very useful move to use. Return is a decent move. It will hit everything that Earthquake can't. It's more or less what its purpose is. And it's 102 base power when it's fully maxed out with your Friendship. And you can make that a little bit better with a couple other things. And then you have Dig and Mud Slap. Dig might be used for a short time. It does have a shelf life for us. And it can definitely be used against a couple things in this game. Mud Slap lowers the accuracy of oppositions. And I can think of one specific battle where this could be useful. And that is the second rival fight. Double Team, not going to use Ice Punch. Now here's where the special part really sucks. Everything we talked about at this point, using move-wise on the TM moveset, has been using special, or using physical. Now we're going to talk about moves that use special. Ice Punch is a 75 base power move, 100% accurate. This will be useful against like a gym leader and Elite Four member. But here's like the counter to that is because we have low special, maybe I should just rely on my stab moves and just go all in with that. Maybe. I don't know. Have really not decided on this yet. But Ice Punch can be very useful against a couple of those things. Swagger, not going to use. Sleep Talk, not going to use. Sandstorm, not going to use. Defense Curl, not going to use. Actually, there's a pretty good stat with Defense Curl and Rollout I might consider. But I'm not, or that's a good strategy. So I might want to do that. Thunder Punch, 75 base power, 100% accurate. This would be very good against Water-type Pokemon. But again, low special, and Water Pokemon usually have pretty decent special. So, but weak to Thunder Punch. This might be useful for like Gyarados, because Gyarados has like Hydro Pump, and we're weak to Water types. So maybe he's 4 times weak, so that's maybe the strategy there. Rest, I can think of maybe an example we can use Rest, but use that's later in the game. Attract and Thief, not going to use, but we do get access to Fire Punch as well, which will help us with one of the gyms. However, I think we can also do other things with this gym other than using Fire Punch, which, you know, can be useful, but again, special attack, low, and attack. We can use the Charcoal, make it stronger, but again, Quick Claw, it's a lot of ins and outs of this Pokemon. I could really mess up a run, and Strength is the last one we can get. I have no desire to use Strength. It is 100% accurate, but I've seen other YouTubers do it. If you ever watch Squidgy, he uses it occasionally for certain Pokemon. I think he uses it specifically for normal type Pokemon. But that's our moveset. And so let's go ahead and get Sudowoodo back to the middle of the screen, and then we will talk about what we're going to do with this Pokemon, how long it's going to take, whatever. Well, I think the early part of the game is going to be pretty easy. Faulkner is our first gym. We are Rock type. He is Flying type, so we're going to blitz through his gym without much contest. The only thing I'm worried about a little bit is we do have to go through Bellsprout Tower, and there's a lot of Bellsprouts with Vine Whips in there. However, I do think we'll get through it, and I think this Pokemon will do pretty well against the first gym and Bellsprout Tower, so that won't be a problem. The second gym is Bug type, which Rock, very good against Bug type, and very good against Bugsy's Ace, which is Skyther. He's a Flying type. So Rock Throw should be very useful against him. I think our second rival fight will be pretty easy. I actually think Whitney won't be super difficult. She will outspeed us, so that's the one thing I have to worry about when it comes to Miltank and Stomp and making us flinch. However, we do have Low Kick. It's weak to. It's a fighting move that it's weak to. We have great attack stat. I don't think there's an item we can pick up around there that gives us a boost to our fighting moves, not that I'm aware of at least. So yeah, there's options there, but I just don't think there's great options. But Whitney is not the one I'm concerned about. It's getting to Morty. Morty is going to be a problem. His Pokemon will outspeed us. Unless we are way over level at that point, which I don't think, his Pokemon will outspeed us. So Morty is going to be the problem, and he's going to be where the problems start. He's not going to be a problem, he's going to be where the problems just start. Because all of his Pokemon are going to outspeed us, and they're going to put us to sleep, they're going to paralyze us, they're going to... Mean Look's not a big deal, but Curse can be a big deal. I don't fear that we're not going to one-shot these Pokemon. What I fear is that they're just going to outspeed us and put us to sleep, and we're going to have a hard time taking on Morty. I don't have a big problem with Chuck. I think Chuck's not going to be that big of an issue, because what I can do, I can just start with Rollout, and then by the time I get to the Poliwrath, unless it puts me to sleep or one-shots me with Surf, I think I'll have enough to one-shot the Poliwrath. Primeape I'm not too worried about. And then, what is it after that? You have Jasmine, you have Price. None of those two are really too concerning. Also, Claire, I mean, maybe, but the real big part is when you start getting outsped. That's going to be the biggest problem. So like I said, Quick Claw is a solution for that. It will give us a little bit... It's too much RNG for my liking. That's the best way to put it. It's too much randomness that we have to rely on. If we're always outsped, that's one thing, but if we have a way to negate that, but still is unreliable, that's the problem. And this Pokemon specifically, there's not a lot of things that I can give some carbs, and I'll get it as fast as I humanly can. I'm probably not going to use Hidden Power. What I'm probably going to go with Hidden Power is just max out my IV, so I have the best possible speed, and just use Hidden Power Dark. But like I said, Feint Attack, you don't really need it, and it's not going to have a long shelf life. So, but that's my prediction. Well, I haven't got a time prediction, I'm sorry. I think this will take about 2 hours and 30 minutes. I don't see this being fast at all. I think the first part of the game will be fast. The first third of the game will be fine. It's the second and third parts of the game that are going to be tricky, because we're going to get outsped, and there's Pokemon are going to put us to sleep, there's Pokemon going to paralyze us, there's Pokemon going to do Curse on us. so on and so forth. And those things, there's a lot of things with this Pokemon that have too much chance. All the rock moves we have a 90% accuracy, which means it's not 100%. If we had something 100%, it's different. But to do that, we gotta get a non-stab move, which is gonna be less powerful, and we're probably not gonna knock things out in one go. So that's the ins and outs of this Pokemon that I'm concerned about, is not outspeeding. And about a third of the way through the game, we're gonna have good momentum, and I guarantee you, we're just gonna start. It's gonna start slowing down very quickly once you get to Morty, once you get to our third rival fight, so on and so forth. So those things are a thing. And with low special, I would say we usually would have solutions to those problems, but with a low special, not really. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. How long you think this will take? What's a strategy you would recommend to get through the entire game? Let me know. And yeah, this video will come out on Friday for this playthrough, and I'm really excited to do it. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I know I've played these games long enough to know where problems are gonna lie, and where we're gonna have the problems. And I'm pretty sure this is where we're gonna have the problems. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys on Friday.